Today, the specter says, "Good morning, YouTube. Stanley Pacion here. I have a poem in 4 parts called Now Voyager. This is part 3. Today, the specter says, before I appeared to envision to you, a fierce fit seized my brain, and I took my sword and smashed it mightily against the stone which our men had trundled from the moraine, a monument on whose face inscribed characters memorialized my life. Wordlessly, he hands me another roll to unfurl. It is a runic manuscript, and though the writing, its script is olden Svenska, in my dream I could read it. My darling Brunet, the salutation goes. I am your countryman, a remote ancestor. I tell you true, and whether you believe me or not, or how you choose to act, the matter rests entirely with you. Nonetheless, I urge you, Harken. Death has deprived me of the ability to speak. The poet's verse, the dream it communicates to you, it is channel, the vehicle this ghost employs. Without this medium, no correspondence with it would exist. You have heard of the hurried activity that animates the point of embarkation. You have heard of the hurried activity that animates the point of embarkation. Note, anticipation of mere material success that dwarfs so much of noble human endeavor. The business these ships portend had once been mine. The business these ships portend had been mine. And now, Voyager, you, like we before you, pursue the world to bring it to your feet and seek new riches and hope to bring them home to dazzle compatriots. Yet, whatever the greatness now awaits you, yours cannot compare to ours, to our accomplishment. Forgive the invidious note. Still, mull it over. Allow me this moment. Imagine it. The joy. We sat well in order and smoked the sounding furrows and sailed into the sunrise. We headed towards the baths of the morning stars. And when we landed, we crossed a vast, unnamed landmass between Europe and Asia, harnessed captives to forge the rivers, fought numberless skirmishes. We used native allies to establish posts for trade. And while we traveled, we beseeched Odin. O Father of fathers, O All-Father, soak us in the blood of enemies, and let its stench increase our fury. Help us to violence. O great God, guide us to kill any who would defy us. The greater bloody smell that filled our nostrils, the more the madness drove us to fight and conquer. And when we lit the funeral pyres made from the ships of our current travels, and burned the bodies of our fallen comrades into the heaven that awaits the warrior, our hair became matted thick. We were crowned with the ash of the departed. In the smoke from those fires, we breathed in the spirits of heroic conquest. We were men of prayer and momentous belief. Utterly we turned our will and we turned our lives over to the care of Father. And I ask again, how yours may compare to ours? How may yours compare to our conquest of the East? We founded Kiev, established the thrones that became the royal house of a great nation, all the way from the soil of Stora Alvaret. We crossed the Bosphorus and battled foes on the plains outside Byzantium. Our work was in the employ of Oriental emperors. We had vanquished the expanse of land. We ruled from Baltic to Black Sea. And when we returned to homeland shores, we had ships filled with slaves and honey. We brought women companions north. Awesome beauties of the East were ours. We stole the horses of the Hungarians and the Czechs. Our hulls bore bags upon bags of gold and silver coin. We were heaped with all variety of fruit. Our ships returned laden with pelts, fur, which we and our people used to fight winter. We returned home rich beyond measure. Now I am but a shade, truly a ghost of former self. No one need tell me how great the events, how the gravestone script commemorates the immortality of your ancestors' deeds and mine. Yet nothing matches the warmth, the memory. My dear wife's body lay in bed, her sleeping next to me. Once, and now so many years ago, I happened upon my wife while she lifted our son to seat him on the front plank of an ox cart parked in front of our home. I must convey more lasting memory and real worth for me in the way dappled sunlight had illuminated my son's head than is upon all the ruins in the homeland today. Our paths emerge but for a while, then close forever within a dream. Time cuts us a length so short, only the moment may be savored. All else, vanity. And once we recognize the transitory, the fleetingness of all we savor, we may seize the instants and know treasure. I am a shade. My victories mean nothing. Were I only able to spend an hour more in bed with my beloved, could I once more bear living witness to light, sunlight, across treetops at the height of day, if only it possible to play, to tumble, to crawl along with my toddler son, were we to have opportunity for our knees and our hands to be upon this earth once more. Goodbye, sweet woman. Goodbye. Farewell, farewell, and remember me.